Attraction is not spoken, it is shown. Before words, before decisions, before anyone admits anything. The body communicates desire long before the mind does. And when certain reactions appear, it means the nervous system has already chosen connection. Today, you will understand the psychology behind attraction, the silent signals of intimate interest, and how confident presence activates desire without force. Attraction never begins with looks, it begins with the nervous system responding. Before the mind can analyze, before logic can interfere, the body already knows. That is why certain gestures appear when desire is present. Prolonged eye contact, soft focus, relaxed smiles, subtle mouth movements, adjusting hair, clothes, jewelry, the body turning toward you, leaning in, removing personal space, playful touches, lower voice tone, a lot of that comes too easily. These are not random, they are the body confessing attraction. And when emotional comfort meets that physical openness, desire becomes inevitable because the body cannot fake interest, it either responds or it doesn't. Confidence is what allows that response to grow, not pressure, not performance, but calm, grounded presence. Attraction intensifies when someone feels safe and stimulated at the same time. When curiosity meets comfort, when certainty meets mystery, that is the psychology of desire. Attraction does not begin with thinking, it begins with feeling, and that feeling is controlled by the nervous system long before the conscious mind becomes aware of it. Every human interaction passes first through this internal system of safety, curiosity, excitement and emotional response. When the nervous system senses comfort, intrigue and possibility, attraction quietly switches on. Logic may arrive later, but by that time the body has already chosen. This is why people often say they felt something before they could explain why. That something is not imagination. It is the nervous system reading tone of voice, facial expressions, posture, energy and emotional presence. The brain releases dopamine when curiosity is triggered, oxytocin when emotional safety is felt, and adrenaline when excitement appears. These chemicals create the experience we recognize as attraction. None of this requires conscious decision. It happens automatically. When someone enters a space and carries calm confidence, the nervous system of others around them immediately notices relaxed posture, steady eye contact, controlled breathing, and unhurried movement send a powerful message of emotional stability. The nervous system reads this as safety. Safety allows curiosity. Curiosity allows connection. And connection is the doorway through which attraction walks in. This is also why attraction can rise quickly between two people who barely know each other. Their nervous systems are responding to emotional signals, not personal histories. They are responding to presence, tone, energy, and awareness. When the nervous system feels understood, seen, and emotionally aligned, it opens. When it opens, desire begins to form. On the other side, when the nervous system senses pressure, neediness, anxiety, or emotional instability, it closes. No amount of beautiful words or physical appearance can override that reaction. Attraction cannot grow where the nervous system feels unsafe or tense. This understanding changes everything about connection. It shows why chasing, forcing, or performing rarely creates genuine desire. Those behaviors signal insecurity, and insecurity triggers the nervous system to protect itself. True attraction grows when the nervous system feels both calm and stimulated at the same time, relaxed but alive, comfortable yet intrigued. The most magnetic people in any room are not the loudest or the most impressive. They are the ones whose nervous systems are regulated, grounded, and emotionally present. Their energy communicates ease. Their presence creates space. Others feel better simply being near them, even if they cannot explain why. Attraction is not created by effort. It is created by alignment between nervous systems. When that alignment occurs, interest flows naturally. The mind may later justify it with reasons, but the decision was already made at a deeper level. The nervous system always decides first. Human connection does not begin with words, it begins with sensation. Touch is the oldest language the nervous system understands, and long before speech existed, it was the primary way humans communicated trust, safety, belonging, and desire. Even today, touch remains the most direct pathway into emotional and psychological connection because it bypasses conscious thought and speaks straight to the nervous system. When two people interact, the brain is constantly scanning for signals of safety and interest. Eye contact, tone of voice, posture, distance, all of these matter. But touch carries a special power because it activates sensory receptors that connect directly to emotional centers of the brain. This is why a simple, intentional physical connection can shift the emotional temperature of an interaction instantly. A light touch on the arm while speaking, a brief brush of the hand, a subtle guiding motion. These small actions communicate more than entire conversations. They say, I am here, I am comfortable with you, I feel connected. When that message is received positively, the nervous system releases oxytocin and dopamine, chemicals responsible for bonding and attraction. These reactions happen in fractions of a second, far beneath conscious awareness. Touch also carries information about confidence. Hesitant or nervous contact communicates uncertainty. Calm, natural, unforced touch communicates emotional control and presence. The nervous system reads this difference immediately. When touch feels grounded and intentional, it increases trust. Trust allows closeness. Closeness allows attraction to deepen. This is why touch must never be rushed or forced. The nervous system needs to feel choice, not pressure. When contact is welcomed, the body relaxes, muscles soften, breathing slows, the emotional barrier drops. That shift is not mental, it is physiological. It is the body signaling that connection is safe. At the same time, touch introduces stimulation. It awakens awareness of the other person's presence. It creates emotional electricity. The brain becomes more alert, more engaged, more open. Safety without stimulation leads to comfort. Stimulation without safety leads to anxiety, but when both exist together, attraction ignites. This balance is the secret. The most powerful connections are built where touch feels both calming and exciting. Not dramatic, not overwhelming, simply real, grounded and present. Words can impress. Appearance can attract attention, but touch creates belief. It tells the nervous system that what is happening is genuine. That belief is what allows attraction to grow into something deeper, more intense, and more meaningful. When used with awareness, respect, and emotional intelligence, touch becomes the loudest form of communication. It does not argue, it does not explain. It simply makes the connection real. The body constantly communicates what the mind tries to hide long before someone is aware of their own emotions, their posture, gestures, facial expressions. And movement patterns reveal what they are feeling. Attraction, in particular, leaves a clear trail of physical signals that appear automatically once the nervous system becomes engaged. When interest begins to rise, the body shifts from closed to open, shoulders relax, arms uncross, the torso angles forward, the feet and hips naturally orient toward the person of interest. Even if the head is turned elsewhere, this happens because the nervous system directs attention and energy toward whatever feels emotionally important. The body quite literally points at what it wants. Eye behavior becomes softer and more focused. Instead of quick glances, the gaze lingers, pupils may subtly widen, blinking slows. There is less scanning of the environment and more attention anchored on the person creating the emotional response. The nervous system is narrowing focus, signaling that something meaningful is happening. The mouth begins to participate as well. Lips may part slightly during conversation. There can be brief lip biting, subtle licking of the lips, or slow, relaxed smiling. These are not conscious decisions. They are micro-responses tied to arousal, attention, and emotional openness. Hands become more expressive. There is increased movement, gentle self-touching, playing with hair, adjusting clothing or jewelry. These behaviors serve two purposes: releasing nervous energy and heightening awareness of physical presence. They are signals of engagement and self-conscious attraction. Distance begins to shrink. The body leans in while speaking. When sitting, knees and feet angle closer. When standing, the personal space bubble reduces without discomfort. The nervous system seeks proximity to what it finds emotionally rewarding. Voice changes occur as well. The tone becomes softer, warmer, sometimes slower. Laughter emerges more easily, even at unimportant remarks. Speech rhythms sync. This is the nervous system moving toward emotional alignment and connection. One of the strongest indicators is mirroring. Without awareness, posture, gestures, speech patterns, and even breathing begin to synchronize. This happens because the nervous system is trying to create harmony and bonding. Mirroring reflects psychological alignment and growing intimacy. Time behavior shifts too. The person finds reasons to stay, extend the interaction, or delay leaving. Attention remains engaged. The outside world fades. Desire always makes time feel less important than connection. These gestures are not learned techniques. They are biological responses. The body is honest because the nervous system has no reason to lie. When these signals appear consistently and naturally, they reveal that attraction is already present and actively growing. Understanding these signs is not about manipulation. It is about awareness. When you recognize them, you stop guessing and start seeing attraction for what it truly is: the body expressing what words have not yet spoken. Attraction does not grow in chaos. It grows in an environment where the nervous system feels safe enough to open and alive enough to engage. This balance is created through confidence, not loud confidence, not performative confidence, but quiet, grounded certainty that communicates emotional stability without needing to prove anything. When someone carries true confidence, the nervous system of others begins to relax. Their presence feels steady, their movements are unhurried, their voice is calm and controlled. There is no emotional pressure in their behavior. This creates a psychological environment where curiosity can emerge naturally. Curiosity is the first step toward desire. Emotional safety does not come from words. It comes from how someone responds under pressure, how they listen, how they regulate their own emotions. When a person remains composed, attentive, and present, The nervous system of the other feels seen and protected. That sense of protection allows emotional openness. Emotional openness allows attraction to deepen. This is why people often feel more drawn to those who are comfortable with silence, who do not rush conversations, who do not chase approval. Their nervous system is regulated. That regulation communicates leadership at an emotional level, and emotional leadership is magnetic. Confidence also removes fear from connection. Fear blocks desire. Anxiety closes the nervous system. But when confidence is present, the interaction feels secure. There is no pressure to perform, impress, or defend. Both people can simply exist in the moment. Desire grows most easily in this space. Another powerful effect of confidence is the creation of boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are signals of self-respect and emotional clarity. When someone respects their own time, energy, and standards, the nervous system of others recognizes value in stability. Stability makes connection feel safe. Safety allows intimacy. Confidence also changes how touch, eye contact, and proximity are experienced. When these actions come from calm certainty, they feel grounding rather than overwhelming. The nervous system responds by relaxing instead of resisting. This relaxation is the foundation of emotional closeness. The absence of confidence, on the other hand, introduces tension. Neediness, insecurity, and overinvestment signal emotional instability. The nervous system perceives this as risk and begins to protect itself. Attraction cannot thrive in that environment. True confidence is not about control over others. It is about control over self. The ability to remain steady, warm, present, and emotionally available without losing balance. This is what makes people feel safe enough to open their hearts, their minds, and their desire. When emotional safety is established, attraction stops being something that must be pursued. It becomes something that unfolds naturally. Because the nervous system finally feels free to choose connection without fear, attraction becomes most powerful when emotional connection and physical awareness begin to merge. One without the other creates imbalance. Emotional openness without physical attraction becomes friendship. Physical attraction without emotional openness becomes temporary. But when both rise together, intimacy starts to form in a deep, lasting way. Emotional openness begins with feeling understood. When someone listens without rushing, responds without judgment, and stays present without distraction, the nervous system registers acceptance. Acceptance relaxes emotional defenses. Once defenses soften, deeper feelings can surface. This is where vulnerability appears, not in dramatic confessions, but in subtle sharing of personal thoughts, memories, hopes, and insecurities. As emotional sharing increases, trust grows, is the bridge between emotional connection and physical attraction. Without trust, the body remains guarded. With trust, the body begins to relax, lean in, and engage more freely. The nervous system is constantly asking, is it safe here? When the answer becomes yes, attraction intensifies. This emotional opening heightens physical awareness. Eye contact becomes more meaningful. Smiles carry more weight. Small gestures feel amplified. The presence of the other person becomes more noticeable, more important. The nervous system shifts from simple interaction to emotional investment. The deeper the emotional connection, the stronger the physical response. This is why people often describe attraction as growing over time, even if it began mildly. Emotional intimacy acts like fuel. Each shared moment, each laugh, each honest conversation adds warmth to the connection. The body begins to crave proximity, attention, and closeness because those interactions now carry emotional reward. When emotional openness and physical attraction support each other, desire becomes stable rather than fleeting. It is no longer driven only by excitement, but also by comfort, trust, and attachment. The connection begins to feel grounding instead of just stimulating. This is also why sudden emotional withdrawal can weaken attraction. When emotional access closes, the nervous system senses loss of connection. The body responds with distance, tension, and reduced engagement. Attraction depends on emotional flow. Strong intimacy does not come from intensity alone. It comes from consistency. The steady presence of emotional availability allows attraction to deepen slowly and naturally. Each interaction becomes more meaningful. Each moment together carries more emotional weight. When someone feels both emotionally seen and physically drawn, the experience of desire becomes powerful and enduring. It no longer lives only in the body or only in the mind. It exists in both, creating a bond that feels rare, intense, and real. This is the point where attraction transforms into genuine intimacy. Not something forced, not something rushed, but something built through emotional openness and mutual presence. Attraction cannot be forced into existence. It cannot be negotiated, persuaded, or chased into becoming real. It emerges when the conditions are right, when the emotional environment allows the nervous system to open, respond, and connect naturally. This is why true attraction is activated rather than pursued. Chasing creates pressure. Pressure signals urgency, insecurity, and emotional imbalance. The nervous system reacts to that by pulling back. Even when interest exists, pursuit can suffocate it. Activation, on the other hand, creates space. Space allows curiosity. Curiosity invites engagement. Engagement leads to desire. Activation happens through presence, being fully engaged in the moment, listening without distraction, responding without rush, and allowing interactions to unfold without forcing direction. This communicates confidence and emotional stability. The nervous system of the other person senses this stability and begins to relax into the connection. Attraction grows when both people feel free. Free to speak honestly, free to express emotion, free to move closer or step back without fear of consequence. That freedom removes resistance. Without resistance, the emotional and physical connection strengthens. Another part of activation is self-respect. When someone values their own time, energy, and emotional well-being, they stop chasing validation from others. This creates emotional gravity. People are naturally drawn to those who are grounded in themselves. That grounding makes attraction feel effortless instead of forced. Activation also involves allowing mystery to exist. Over-explaining, over-communicating, and over-investing too quickly removes the emotion tension that fuels desire. Healthy uncertainty keeps the nervous system curious and engaged. Curiosity keeps attraction alive. When attraction is activated properly, it does not feel like work. It feels natural. Conversations flow. Silence feels comfortable. Laughter comes easily. The body relaxes in each other's presence. There is no sense of performance, only connection. This is why the strongest attraction often appears when someone is focused on their own life, purpose, and growth rather than on winning someone over. Their energy is full, their presence is calm, their confidence is quiet. That emotional state creates the perfect environment for desire to awaken. Chasing attempts to control outcome. Activation allows outcome to reveal itself, and attraction always responds better to freedom than to force. When you understand this, your entire approach to connection changes. You stop trying to convince, you stop trying to impress, you stop trying to secure desire. Instead, you become the emotional environment in which desire naturally rises. That is the true psychology of attraction, not pursuit, but presence, not force, but freedom, not chasing, but activating the conditions where connection chooses to grow on its own. You never convince attraction, you activate it. The body speaks first, the mind follows later, and once the nervous system opens, connection becomes unavoidable. That is how attraction truly works.